Good morning. I'll be right there. All right. Instagram's checking the connection, and we're good. All right. Good morning. I hope everybody's well. This morning we're going to work on kidneys. Okay. So I'm using an iPad today, not a piece of paper, because our printer's not working, among other things. So get yourself or a bolster or a couple of blankets. Let's see, what else do we want? Bolster, blanket, don't need a strap, but I would recommend getting yourself a block as well. And then once you've got your goods, come to your mat and lie down. And then I'll tell you in just a minute or two about the kidneys that we're going to play with. And I'm going to grab my break. I'll be back. Actually, I'm going to grab two of my bricks. Alrighty. So when you're ready, got your goods, lie down on your back. And we'll drop into class. So take a moment to get comfortable, letting your arms come by your sides or slightly out, palms up. Knees can stay bent or you can reach the legs long. And then just take a moment. Let the whole body relax. Place the tip of your tongue behind the top front teeth to relax the jaw. And then become aware of the points of the body that touch the earth. The back of the hands, your heels, maybe your elbows and your shoulders. And just let those points rest into the earth. Become aware of that contact, of that ease into the ground, into the mat. And then start to scan your body, starting at the tip of the head to the toes, okay? And just see what your body feels like today, what your head's doing, what your heart's doing, just what is the state of your being this morning. Shift your attention to your breath. Not trying to change it, but just, is it, just figuring out what it is. Is it deep? Is it shallow? Is it in your chest? Is it in your belly? Are you breathing in and out through your nose? Is your mouth involved? Just observing what your breath is. then start to deepen it. Feel free to place both hands on your belly, or if you prefer just one hand, females keep their right hand on the belly, males keep the left hand. And we're going to build into a 3-part breath. So a 3-part breath is when you inhale and the belly expands, slowly filling the lungs up to the ribs, and then all the way up to the collarbone, having that expand. And then as you exhale, then you release the top from the collarbone to the ribs to the belly. It's like a pitcher of water, that the water that you, theoretically, what you fill up, right? You come up to the top, and then as you pour it out, the things from the top comes to the bottom, or falls out first all the way down to the bottom. So take a deep breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time, inhaling through the nose, and out through the mouth. And then just breathe in and out through your nose. Deepening that breath, starting to fill the base of the vessel of the lungs, letting the belly rise and fall. And remembering, as you inhale, you can breathe so the sides of your body and the back of your body expand with the breath. So one more time, just the belly, just the low part of the lung, of the breath. And now let's add on filling the belly and then the ribs. And then as you exhale, release the ribs and then the belly. Excuse me. Slow inhale, slow exhale. And then let's add on that third component. Excuse me. Next, inhale, belly, and then ribs, and then all the way up to the collarbone. And then collarbone, ribs, and belly. 5 or 6 rounds of that 3-part breath, really quite slow, effortless, enjoying the breath. One more, please. And then just come back to the sensation of your breath as you inhale and exhale, still staying on your mat. And I will read to you about your kidneys. So you're still on the ground, eyes closed, nice and easeful. So the kidney is a zong organ that we've talked about before. That means it stores energy. It's a solid. It's yin, and it regulates. And one of the things it stores is jing, which is known as basically your essence. And it's the material basis of your body that nourishes and fuels our cells. So, and this is from Bernie Clark, it also cools the body, which is one of the reasons it's yin. It controls long-term energy, not the daily energy cycles. And there's two types of jing. One with which you were born, and it's kind of like a savings account in that the energy, you can use the energy and it is stored up and you can withdraw. But once you withdraw that energy from the savings account, it does not refill. Okay? And then the other one is energy that is gained through your lifetime. And this, you use the energy and then you fill it back up. It can be regenerated, and regenerating it, you get that, for example, from eating and exercising. It's like a checking account from which you withdraw energy and deposit energy as it is gained. So staying with this checking savings account, if you use up too much energy from the checking account, which is that second kind, then the energy from your savings account, which is the jing with which you were born, is transferred. And remember that savings account, which is the jing with which you were born, cannot be replenished. It is lifestyle that can impact energy gained during life and ultimately the energy with which you were born. So, to quote Bernie Clark, just living mindfully will lengthen your life and develop wisdom. Eat healthy foods, get plenty of sleep, hang out with inspiring people, and avoid unhealthy activities, individuals, and practices. So the better, more mindful we are of taking care of ourselves, the less we use up that energy with which we were born, and the more we can replenish. Okay, so let's start. Everybody gently stand up, and we're going to come into dangling. And that dangling, we're just going to stand up, let your feet relax, and then you're going to roll down. Knees can be bent as much as you like, and we're going to stay here for 2 minutes in this yummy forward fold. And let me get our timer started. Knees can be bent back and around, and we're just starting to stretch out that back. Okay? And we're stimulating our urinary bladder because it's stretching along the back of the legs and the spine, which is going to hit the urinary bladder, and then our liver, kidney, and spleen. So we're going to stay here for 2 minutes. And then in our next pose, I will tell you more about the meridian line of the kidney and how we're accessing it. Staying inside with sensation, just letting the body take shape. Not controlling. Few more seconds. From here, we're going to come directly into our second pose, which is a squat. Feel free to take your feet wider if you'd like and just come into that squat. If you are like me, you might want a little something underneath your ankle, underneath your heels to stimulate a bit of the ankle. All right, this is as good as I'm going to get. Oof. So our squat, okay, is going to hit our liver and kidney. It stretches the ankles, which is also going to stimulate our stomach, spleen, gallbladder, and urinary bladder. So our kidney meridian starts outside the little toes, under the sole of the feet, along the arch, circles the ankle, then runs through the heel, comes to the innermost side of the leg, right, inner thighs, to the tailbone, where it follows the spine up into the kidney. At the kidney, we're going to branch, and at first it heads to the urinary bladder and then comes back to the surface of our body, to the abdomen, up the chest, to our clavicle, our collarbone. And that's the first branch. The second branch touches the liver and the diaphragm and moves up through the lungs and throat, ending beside the root of the tongue. Okay, so right now, if you think about it, we're getting the arches a bit, we're getting the little toe, maybe a little sensation in the thighs. Nice and relaxed. From here, you're going to just come gently into an ankle stretch. And by an ankle stretch, you're going to sit on your heels, legs together, and just lean back a little bit, stretching out the ankles, which is, you know, a little bit of kidney in the same instance. Couple breaths. Good. And then from here, we're going to come into our frog. So starting in a child's pose with you're going to start with your toes together, big toes together and feet wide. All right. And then bring your chest to the floor, just like in a child's pose. As you're here, you can walk the heel and the legs out. So you are pretty much looking like a frog, where the ankle and the knee line up and feet are flexed. Feel free to support yourself on your forearms. All right, so this should be in the inner thigh, and you might feel this a little bit in the back. So inner knees are your spleen, right? Liver and kidney is that inner groins that we're playing with. So that's that inner leg line, that's part of the meridian. So as you stay in this pose, just find stillness. And remember, you can bring those big toes together to soften some of this stretch, right? Or you can shift your weight slightly forward, bring the butt up a little higher, decreasing the stretch in the inner thigh. Two minutes, one down, two to go. Let the jaw relax. Let the toes soften. And then focus on sensation and see how the sensation changes as we stay in this pose. About 45 seconds. From here, bring the toes back together, knees together, and we're actually going to counter with our next pose, which is a child's pose. So find yourself arms in your child's pose. Feel free to keep the legs wide to snuggle yourself down, or bring the knees together. I'm starting our timer. We're going to be here for 4 minutes, and I'll tell you about what we're doing. So in this child's pose, we're gonna, it's the compression in the front, and then we're also stimulating that spine a bit by this forward fold. So we're stimulating the spleen, stomach, kidney, and urinary bladder. And like I said, arms can be out, or they can be by your side. 4 minutes. About 1.25 minutes left. Stay with that sensation, letting the jaw relax, letting the back just do its thing. If you tilt to one side, that's cool. Just focusing on the inside, on the release. Beautiful. Slowly roll yourself out of this. Lifting back up. Feel free to do just a gentle back bend if that feels good. And then come to line on your left side. And I'm going to open this up again. And we're going to go directly into cat pulling its tail. And we've done this a couple of different times. There we go. So to do cat pulling its tail, or to come into this pose, you're going to lie on your side. You can be up on your left elbow if you want to. Take this right leg straight. Bend the bottom, the left leg is straight. Bend that bottom right leg and let that top left arm grab it. And then you're going to just let yourself lie back. One of the things that I like about this is this is a really nice twist. And realize that if this is a big twist in the pelvis, you can just bring this top leg down. And we're going to be here for 3 minutes, and I'm starting right now. I'm going to read this upside down. So the top of the thigh that's stretching on that bottom leg stimulates the spleen and stomach meridians. And as our back is arched and we twist, so that's our kidney and urinary bladder. Okay, so we're just letting ourselves slowly open. And it's not so much the stretch in the front of the leg that I'm looking for, as the rotation in the ribs and that slight arch of the back that's going to hit us in our kidneys. Because we are kind of bringing out the organs. And we're compressing that lower, remember the spine? The meridian runs up through that spine. About 15 seconds, please. Slowly roll onto your back. And bend the knees. Place the feet on the floor. Just pause for a moment. Let that back relax. And then when you feel that release in the back, bring the knees to the chest. And just a gentle tug. Roll to your opposite side. So we're going to start on that right side now. So you're lying on your right side, nice and stacked. Top left leg is going to reach out to bottom right leg bends. I apologize if I did this backwards last time. So here we are. And remember, again, it's about the twist and the arch in the back more than the stimulation in that front thigh of the bottom leg. And we're just going to be here after I start the timer for 3 minutes. Try not to tug hard on that foot that your hand is holding. And do the best you can to relax and soften. Remember, if you're gripping the jaw, place the tip of the tongue behind the front teeth and soften. It really does help release. If that's not working, imagine that you've got mouthwash in your mouth and just kind of swish it around and release. That also helps release the jaw. Perfect. Again, come onto your back. Let that back just kind of come into neutral. Letting the muscles relax and ease because we have been in a bit of a back arch. And then when you're ready, when the back feels a little softer, then bring the knees to the chest. Feel free to round if you want to, curling up, whatever feels good, in your body. And then roll over to a side. We are now going to come into a sphinx or a seal, the depth of which is up to you. And so you're going to lie on your belly. Okay, and if you're coming into this sphinx, you're going to have your elbows underneath your shoulders and just relax. If you're going to go a bit deeper, then you are going to, if you're somebody who's got a lot more mobility in the back than certainly I do, you're going to bring your arms straight. Okay, you can throw your head back, which is really good for your adrenal glands, I was reading, and your thyroid, or you can let it soften and just stay in neutral. So find what you want that works best for you and know that you're going to be here for 4 minutes, and I've already started our timer. So nice relaxed. Sometimes what I'll also do is, if my back is feeling exceptionally tight, is I'll come as low as possible. So I still have stimulation in that back. So this is a deep, deep compression of the spine. It compresses lumbar 2 and 3, which is where we store our Jing energy that we're playing with, the kidney. So urinary bladder and kidney, stomach and spleen, and the kidney organ itself and the adrenal glands are stimulated because of the compression. So if this doesn't feel good on your back, nice and relaxed, letting everything go, do not hurt your back. Two more minutes. Know that if you want to go deeper, you can lift yourself up a little bit. Feel free to go into that seal where you straighten your arms. Otherwise, you can stay wherever you are. As long as you've got that stimulation going without pain. Try to release the buttocks and the thighs. About 50 more seconds, 5-0. Slowly come out of this big old back bend and come onto all fours. So actually you can push yourself, onto all fours and pause here. Find yourself in a nice tabletop and then come into some cat-cows. Really quite gentle and not so much exaggerating the cow, right, as the cat. And then come into child's pose just briefly. Rolling yourself one vertebrae at a time, we're going to come onto your back, and we're going to do, I haven't done this before in Yin. We're going to do half a happy baby. So a happy baby is when we lie on our back and we actually grab our feet, right, and pull it down. We're going to do just one leg, all right? And grab a strap. I know I said we didn't need one, but I think I lied. All right, if you're going to need it so that you can use this strap to keep, so that this right leg, my right leg straight, left knee's bent. And I'm using a bit of, I'm actively pulling my knee down, but keeping my hips square on the ground so I'm not tilting. And we're going to be here for, I think it's 2 minutes on each side I had. Yep. And before you get into it, while you get your strap, we're stimulating the spine and therefore the urinary bladder and kidney are firing up. And that inner groin is going to stimulate the liver. So, hop on your back, straighten your right leg. Bend the left foot, grab onto the outside of the foot as such with a gentle pull or use a strap. Okay, whatever allows this to get a good stimulation going without hurting. All right, and I'm starting our timer 2 minutes. Hit. Oh, let's get that going. Okay, hit it. Little bit of a pull. So you're efforting with that arm, which is why we're only holding it for 2 minutes. So remember to relax both legs. I just found myself really firing up that right leg that's grounded. Just let it go. Keep gently tugging that right the left knee towards the earth. About 40 seconds. Release. That's our counter for this. Straighten the legs. Pause for a moment, both legs straight. If you want to, you can bend the knees too, whatever feels best. And then straighten that left leg, grasp that right leg, or use the strap, and we'll start our timer for 2 minutes. Remember, gentle tug, bringing that leg down. Different leg, different story, right? 30 seconds. And then release. Let the legs just straighten, coming into kind of an eagle. So move anything that's in your way and just pause, lying on your back, scanning the body before we come into twisting. And then bending the knees, place your feet on the floor, and we're just going to come into simple twists for 3 minutes each. So take both knees over to whatever side feels good and let the head rotate to the opposite. Arms can be overhead, one arm can stay overhead, or your arms can be up by your sides. So let everything relax, letting go of control. And it really is your choice, the kind of twist where the knees are. But once you find the twist that fits you right now, that feels good, let go of effort. All ease. About 1:20 to go. Remembering you're still not controlling the body. Then one knee may go one direction. You may end up feeling a twist. You might not. But really let everything still let go. "30 seconds, please." Slowly come back to center. And then take that same form of twist in the opposite direction for 3 minutes. Remember, anything that hurts, don't do. About 1.5 minutes left. That's good. "45 seconds. And then bring the legs back to center, head back to center, and pause just for a few breaths before you straighten your legs and become into Shavasana. So when you're ready, straighten your legs. And if there's anything else you'd like to do before you come into your Shavasana, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, before dropping into Shavasana, scan the body. See what your body, your brain, your heart is up to now. And then come back to your breath, getting ready for your Shavasana. Please feel free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you'd like. About 3 minutes is usually good with Yin Yoga. I hope you all have a wonderful July 20th, Monday. Enjoy the weather. Namaste.